common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Duo Live show here at Learn Crypto, your one-stop shop for crypto and stock technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news. We do these daily updates for you guys to keep you in the loop. But if you want to have 24/7 access to myself, Nick Hellman, and Todd Butterfield over there, join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. What you got going on today, Todd?
What's going on? We've got crypto finally trying the downside here that I've been calling for. So here to go over that real quick. I got to run to a meeting here at 2:20, but wanted to jump on here. So let's do this.
Yeah, let's hop into some of the news and some of the charts. If you want to give me the screen here, we'll take a look at CoinGecko. Of course, we know that the government shutdown has passed through the Senate to be ended. The House is voting today. So will this government shutdown end and cause a little spur in the market? Should you try to chase that rally, or has the gains already been made there, and are we going to lower levels? For those of you who've been following along and you're in patreon.com/learncrypto, you know that we sold Bitcoin for profits, Ethereum for profits, Solana for profits, Pengu for profits, and Coinbase for profits, looking for lower levels on all those assets, and they are now lower than all of our sells. Now, we do still have exposure to Pulse Chain and other altcoins. We'll talk about that as well, because that has been hammered on the back of some of Richard Hart's tweets. But overall, for this past 7 days, although the trend is our friend and lower has been happening, Bitcoin is only down 3%. Ethereum is only down 1.9%, outperforming Bitcoin. XRP is actually up 2.5%, and BNB back to outperforming all of them, down 1.7. Solana down 6.4. We need to look at that chart. Solana has been in the doldrums, and I know there's massive liquidations that will go into effect if you get back into the 140s on Solana. A little insight I got from the Frontier Fund guys and what their technometers and everything is showing over there. So that's what we got going on there. Biggest winners for the day: Filecoin up 54% of the week, Uniswap up 39, and Near up 29. Still a lot of AI projects in here and a lot of privacy projects in here, with green on the weekly, even though the market feels pretty depressing. And talk about depressing, biggest losers: Tau down 12.3%, Athena down 10.9%, Hyperliquid down 8.1%, and Pump down 6.6%. This is probably all on the back of Solana doing poorly. Remember, Pump Fund and Hyperliquid are kind of tied to the Solana liquidity. So when Solana goes down, the other alts on Solana struggle as well. That applies for Pulse Chain, which we'll talk about later. But before that, I know you guys want to see the charts. So Todd, take over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, and the major assets that we've been trading. Is now the time to buy the dip, or do we still have more pain to go?
All right, visual chart in front of us. I do have some Elliott wave markings on that because currently technometer 42.36. Everybody's been in here now. I follow the Wyckoff indicators first and maybe try to figure out an appropriate Elliott wave count. In front of us maybe is that we ended the 5 waves up over here at 123. We ABC down, ABC up for up thrust after distribution, and possibly a overlapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gives us the break down below 98. I've been wanting maybe down to 93 on a scare. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll change the Elliott wave count as we go down, but I need the technometer closer to 38 to get me too excited yet. So last 2 days, pretty shitty performance. So I still look for lower. Ethereum outperforming a little bit here after getting on the downside, but really the count Elliott wave is probably still the same. Need another smash down below 3,000. Maybe could see 2,800, I'm not sure, but that's something we'll look for. And then let's do Solana. as Nick said, coming under a little pressure. I've had a long-term count on Solana clear down below 80. That didn't look possible at 250, but we're a little closer now. Not sure that's a good count, but we'll see.
Yeah, you did share that count up there, near the highs, and now this price has come all the way back down to the last trade that we've had on Solana quite a while ago, and now it is well below even the previous sell that we had. So, $80 didn't seem feasible. Still kind of, hopefully doesn't seem feasible. Hopefully the lowest of the low, it goes to that lower end of the consolidation range, around like $119 or whatever that white line is. But we'll follow along, as Solana has been the worst performing top 10 asset in the past 7 days. That's for sure.
I think 125 is we could fall down to, so that's kind of the level I'm looking at. And then we'll go to BNB down 1% today. And I know I've been calling something down there. I'd like to see at 844, somewhere down there, taking out that previous wick low on the liquidation day. So again, just something lower before I get too excited. Let's go back to the chat box.
That BNB final low below that would go with 5 waves down, just like you have on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well.
Exactly. Yep, there, 845 maybe, somewhere below there.
It almost looks too perfect on the Elliott wave. Like maybe we get truncated and we don't go to the new low. Is there a possible count where you don't quite go to a new low? Like maybe the government reopens, we get a surge, and then the low is kind of already in, or is everything points that if that Elliott wave count is correct, then you have to go to a new low.
I mean, Elliott wave corrections can take, like 9 different formats. So yeah, there's definitely, the low could already be in. We try to hold right in here and turn higher. Doesn't look very crisp to say that. And my indicators really don't give me that. The only thing it is our volume is hitting a new low intraday for the last 10 days or so, while Bitcoin is a hair higher. But the technometer is not oversold, so I can't jump on that at the moment. I got to see some type of a rally above today's high up there, 105. Probably gets me worried that a low, but for now, I'm not worried about that.
And I guess, we hinted at it a couple times. Let's look at Pulse Chain here, if you can show me the screen, and then we'll talk about what is going on over there. Is that the final capitulation, or are we heading to zero? Do you still believe in Richard Hart? Do you believe in the tech over there? What's going on? Pulse Chain down 15%, I guess 13.8%. So it rallied a little bit since we went live. Down 13.8% in the past 24 hours. And that was really on the back of this tweet right here from Richard Hart. As you know, he is doing a sacrifice for a new ProveX privacy platform utilizing Pulse Chain technology. Now, I wish there wouldn't be a token. And if there is a token, you have to accept only your blue chips, only the Pulse Chain assets, in order for me to spin it as a positive and see the Pulse Chain assets pump. Meaning, hey, at least people will lock up their Pulse Chain assets, get them off the market. You can take Tornado Cash ETH, pump up the Pulse Chain assets, and then sacrifice them to get them off the market. Well, he literally did the exact opposite. He said, hey, we're going to take anything and everything on every chain except for your Pulse Chain assets for the sacrifice. The market did not like that, dumped it off about 30% in one red candle, and now we bounced a bit, but still down 15%. I don't know what to tell you guys, That is not a good look. That is pretty silly. I replied, it's gone pretty viral, 10,000 views, 8,000 views here. Can you explain this decision? I was already against another token, but thought, okay, if he accepts Pulse Chain blue chips, that could spur a pump in the chain from our organic buyers, Tornado Cash buyers, sacrificers, then take those tokens off the market, and I could spin it as a positive. Now you have a new token, which I didn't want it. Long launch timing, because the sacrifice is going to go until January 10th of 2026, which means nothing's going to be launched until at least after January 10th. No core token pump flywheel in effect. What am I missing here? Nobody's giving me a good answer. Richard Hart didn't reply, obviously. But the only hopium you do have before we move on to the next topic is a few hours later, after that big capitulation sell-off, he made another tweet, and I think it's right here. If I were streaming video right now, which I am not, and won't be till I've written some pages of text I've been putting off, maybe a day or two, what are these burning questions you have? So after he let the chain completely sell off and shook everybody off, he then hours later said, hey, I may or may not do a live stream or record a video in 1 to 2 days. What questions do you want me to answer? So if he gets on, shows face, this is what we've been waiting for. We wanted Richard Hart to go live again. I just think it's really unfortunate timing with the decisions he's making. He was starting to make headways with influencers, Jason Williams, Mario Newfall, so many other influencers, and then he seemingly tossed that all in the garbage with this new sacrifice for ProveX, and the charts are telling you that same story. Remember, Pulse Chain was rallying pretty hard off the lows. It was starting to outperform. It had people talking about it, and then all of a sudden, this new ProveX stuff has gone in the opposite direction. So just wanted to give you the quick Pulse Chain update before we get to anything else. And I guess now, Todd, we'll go to the comment section here, and if there's any stocks you want to take a look at as well.
I'm going to go to ADA in front of us. We've gone over this chart usually every time here live. I mean, I still think we could be ending a large wave 4 or some type of correction here. So I'll be looking for that. I've been talking about, a break below that support level, a spring. We did have a spring. I think it could be a little bit deeper one, especially if I'm right on Bitcoin. So again, maybe down there, maybe we go down and tag a 0.45 or something before we turn higher. A rally above that 0.61 probably would make me think that maybe I've missed some type of trading low, and I'd go ahead and jump on it. So that's kind of what I would look for.
Do you want to pull up the Coinbase chart? That one has continued to sell off. Our last sell in patreon.com/learncrypto is right around $370. It's now back down to 300, but it did wick as low as 282. Do you think we have lower to go, or do you think that wick was the ultimate low there for Coinbase?
I mean, I mentioned yesterday when I was live that, that is the backup to the jump at 285. I would think it is acting pretty well here the last 4 days, but I could still see something down there. Check that 285 again. Maybe scary it at 275, 270 or something. But I think we're trying to make a low. A lot of arrows on this chart. I've said it before. Pink is momentum buys. Gold is momentum sells. Green and red are more sells of ours. So, a lot going on there, but I try to keep that for everybody so we know what we're doing.
Let's just say we've been outperforming the momentum trades on this one. That's for sure.
Yeah, momentum in some of these crypto stocks hasn't worked as well because a lot of them are doing this sideways. The momentum will buy the tops, sell the lows. So we've actually done the opposite of that on Coinbase. So so far, so good. And really the other coins here, BMNR, same type of thing I talked about yesterday, maybe just a little bit lower again and get on those. I don't see anything drastic telling me to jump on them today. Same with SBET. MicroStrategy's been a horrible dog. That thing is just taking out any premium. I don't know if Sailor's going to get caught here in the next week or so with some type of bad news or whatever. 221. That chart's horrendous. I did see up there 300 to stand aside. All of a sudden 221. So that one is not good.
And that's one that we haven't been in for quite a while. So seeing the drawdown doesn't really affect us, but it still, kind of drives momentum and morale for crypto-related stocks, as it is one of the largest ones over there and the one that's talked about the most. So a strong MicroStrategy allows us to make better trades on the other crypto-related stocks, in my opinion. And as far as BMNR, I just wanted to quote some prices here. The private group members are in BMMR between $30 to $31, so we're still up about 28 to 30% here at $40. But just continue sideways and really relying on Ethereum's performance. So if Todd's saying Ethereum might go to one more minor new low, expect BMNR to come under some kind of pressure. It just depends on what price that comes for. And then for SharpLink Gaming, which is Joe Lubin's, we are in that one between $7.50 to $10. It's currently $11.43. We're only up about 15% on that one. That one had a massive rally, and we kind of just rode it because we liked it for the exposure of Ethereum over time, and that thing's came almost all the way back down. So if you don't own those or you missed the first buys, I wouldn't say do it right here, right now, unless you really want the exposure, because I think they're going to do well if you believe in ETH. But if Todd gives an Ethereum buy, I think that is your time to bet. That's going to be your last hurrah to get long on SBT and BMNR. They continue to improve their position as far as more Ethereum per share. They all have cash to buy more. They want to buy more Ethereum. So if we are near a major low, like Todd thinks for Ethereum, and Ethereum is going to do many multiples for the remainder of this cycle and into the future, then these are going to probably be your best bets for DApps in the traditional markets that have institutional leaders, co-founders, and really the funding and ETH per share to go up and to the right in price.
Nothing from the chat. I'm going to quickly go over a few stocks here before we run. So here we are. ACNT is one I mentioned yesterday in the stock Discord. That one looks like it's getting ready to break out. Same type of thing I'm looking for, and I got a few people looking at the Wyckoff indicators at TradingView because you're seeing sell volume coming in, price holding at what was a backup, and now we're going to be going into markup phase. So I like the looks of that chart. There it is going. That alarm is it just touched a new high for the move, so that was right on cue.
That's funny. Funny how that works out, huh?
And there's work, same type of thing. Came up for a Wyckoff backup. Got that around 93.76. We're 91.37. Quick $8 there, 10%. I think that one's got a lot more to go to the upside. We will trail sell stops on that one. NTRA I mentioned on here. Came out with earnings, did open down, straight back up. Rambus is one that I mentioned as well. It's right at kind of break even where I started mentioning it. I think that one will try to right itself here as long as the general market don't take a dump. And then we go to oil. I mentioned that, had a quick 5 days up. It is coming back today because crude oil is getting slapped for about 250. So XLE's pulling back, but I think that's going to be a buy opportunity. NBR, I've mentioned this one over and over since the buys down there at the green arrows. Nice little pullback today. Back to my last little short-term sell before earnings, new low on the volume, so I think that one will catch itself. And again, crude's down 250. Going to watch crude here the next day or two to see if I think it's bottom and turning higher. And then just a few other ones here. MOD looks not too bad, holding sideways with sell volume coming in. As you can see, actually a new low today, so we can still try to show that. So that 140 looks like strong support there. MPWR holding in. MTZ, FN, COHR. So just a few of the names I'm looking at. And a lot of the momentum names are getting slapped here, some of the AI names. So we'll possibly be looking at that. But that's just a quick update. Let's go back to Nick and I.
Jasper says, not sure if we can ask these kind of questions here, but how did you both get into the world of trading? What brought you there? First of all, any questions can be asked in this chat within reason, but if we don't like them, we just won't read them out loud. But that's a cool one. So I started investing when I was like 12 years old. Didn't know much about it, but I live in a neighborhood that is full of Italian immigrants, and you kind of were put to work when you're young. So I was sweeping houses for cash when I was like 11, 12. Got into the world of investing that way. Obviously, my parents just got me like an Everett Jones guy, and we got in random indices. But then flash forward, I got math degrees, accounting degrees, whatever. I work for an institutional financial advisor as a performance analyst for hedge funds, private equity, estate portfolios, etc. And that's kind of how I was down the rabbit hole of trading. Now, I will say about that first job that I ever had, they didn't do auto delegations of your 401k. They believed, hey, you work for a financial institution. You're supposed to have an edge on the financial markets. So the money for your 401k is just going to go into your accounts as cash. You have to delegate it, invest it, and trade it on your own. So I do think that little thing there by that company was really smart and helped lead me to where I'm today, because it forced me to dive in, invest, hit the buy, hit the sell buttons on my own, rather than an auto delegating to an indices. So that's kind of my background. And I'm sure it's not near as exciting as Todd's that you're about to hear.
And there was I was 16 years old. My father and I was at the local Shearson Lehman Brothers office trading low price stocks and options. And then I saw an ad for the Wyckoff Stock Market Institute in the Barron's, I believe. And I took their home study course. I think I paid about $1,800 back then, made payments on it. Graduated from that. And in 1982, got in a real money U.S. Investment Championship contest. I borrowed money from my grandfather, 10 grand to get in that. I placed 12th in the nation. I think it was 30% in the competition. And then I had a wealthy individual from Chicago hire me to trade at the upstairs at the exchange. I had his president's account. Traded any of the markets I wanted, traded a lot of OEX options in size, and stock index futures were just starting at that time. That's what I traded in the competition. And then left the floor, came back home, and started my own investment advisory, and got real money competition. I think I did about 7 of them. I got ranked high in all of them. Those are all on the websites. And then went to work for Smith Barney for like 2 years, made a bunch of money in the corn market and built a new home. And then Carrie and I went out on our own. So we've been on our own since 1996. 2016 took over Wyckoff because I was the logical one to do it. I was managing a lot of money based off Wyckoff. The gentleman at that time was retiring, and Jim O'Brien, and I took over Wyckoff, and Nick and I and Matthew had started the YouTube talking about crypto late 2016, and then Nick came on board, and shit, the rest is history. Here we are.
That is right. Here we are. So we are back live, and it's not fun when the markets are down. Even when you're on the right side of the market, when it comes to a portion of your portfolio, you know, selling Coinbase and Pengu and Bitcoin, all these things, when you still have exposure to all coins, we haven't had an alt season, and then overall morale in the market is down too with the red candles on the large caps. It isn't fun to get on here, but, you know, we're going to keep getting on here, try to keep getting some winning trades regardless of market conditions. And when the crypto market gets fun like it has in the past, we're going to be here, be ready, and hopefully you guys can take full advantage of that. Until then, we're going to try to take profits where we can, try to position our portfolio in small caps that we think do have upside potential if and when an alt season ever happens, and keep trying to be active here. And I know a lot of you can't watch these full 1 hour long live shows, so we are trying to utilize AI to create shorts. It is funny, Todd. Our shorts do get, you know, 2 times more views and visibility on YouTube versus the live show, and they get about the same visibility on Twitter. So the Twitter live does better than the YouTube live, but the YouTube shorts do very well as well. People have that short attention span over on that platform.
Exactly. I'm going to take over the screen. PLTR, Palantir. Not much to add here, Mark. I mean, I had a slight divergence from the high 2 days ago versus the high 10 days ago, which maybe gave you the upthrust. Came back into average level of closes. That's called an upthrust. We tested it 2 days ago. I mean, it looks like we can come back down, you know, to the lower end of the trading range, which I think's that 145 level. And SoftBank sold their $5 billion position. I don't know if that, you know, could lead to more selling here in the next few days. Obviously, we got to get below that 169 level. I don't really have any help from technometers or any more from the volume, so not a strong opinion, but I would think sideways to lower for now. And if the spring on ADA is in, I mean, the spring could be in, or we go down to that 45, 49 area that I mentioned, that'd be a better spring. And then target for wave 5, I really couldn't state. I think, you know, it'd be much higher for sure. But I want to see things turn up and then talk about the upside after that. I have not seen Matt forever. The last I knew, he was driving trucks. I probably saw him, I suppose, my God, probably 2.5, 3 years ago. I didn't speak to him, but I did see him coming out of a truck. So that's all I know. Well, here I'm going to run a quick disclaimer, then we'll go back to Nick and I and close this thing down so I can head to this meeting.
There's a high degree of risk involved in trading stocks and cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
All righty.
All right. If there's any other questions, comments, concerns, throw them in the private group over at patreon.com/learncrypto. If you're interested in that, but you don't know just yet, there is a free version of Patreon, so you might as well sign up for that as well. And I'm sure you'll upgrade when you see all the trades that you just don't have access to after the fact. But that's where you need to be. That's where you can ask the questions on days like this where we have to run. We will get those notifications to Discord to our mobile devices, and we will answer those during meetings, no problem. So that's really it. I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum trying to hold, but still look like they want to go lower. Pengu, we sold 43% higher. So at some point, these mid-cap cryptos have very good risk-to-reward ratios as far as where they could go. It's like a 76% rally in Pengu gets it back to where we sold it, which is kind of crazy when you think about that math. And Coinbase kind of showing some resilience, even with Bitcoin down here around 100K. Again, we sold at $70 per share higher. That's a big number, folks, and we're looking to buy that back soon. As for the other altcoins in our portfolio, well, Richard Hart, moment of silence for you, buddy, because stop with your spicy tweets. You've had enough spicy tweets. You've shaken the tree long enough. Send us in the actual right direction here so some of those altcoins can continue to perform and grind higher to the right rather than grind lower. And that's about all I got, Todd. What's your exiting statement here besides like that share, like that like button, smash the like, share, and subscribe button. I can't talk anymore. I need to eat some lunch.
That's about it. Going to a meeting. I'm trying to get things so we can launch a crypto hedge fund because now the public wants to jump in the markets when they haven't wanted to for years. So that's what I'm doing some meetings on to try to get that figured out. Otherwise, probably be here tomorrow. Bitcoin about 800 off the low. Still down 1,400 for the day, and I still think we got to see lower. So we'll catch you tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess we've been trying to get these people onboarded into Bitcoin and crypto since like $1,500 Bitcoin. So maybe 115,000 is more likely for them to finally get a fund together and get on board and start investing in crypto and crypto-related stocks.
Exactly. All right. Peace out.